Right, yeah. So, hey, I got a little technical difficulty there. Because the devil, Satan, try to hinder the word. Alright?
Are people that
So, yeah, I'm going to play back from here now.
realize what is happening to these people already and take that into account when they design new systems. So I think that's very important.
You know why? You know why it's having a lot of news article on this very said topic? Because it affecting fucking white people. It affecting Edomites. It affecting them. And
We begin with an alarming story about rising death rates among white adults in America. WSJ's special writer Betsy McKay joins us now to discuss. Thanks for being here, Betsy.
Thanks for having me.
As you point out in your piece, this trend is shocking for an economically advanced country like the United States. What is driving the uptick in death?
It's a hurtful thing. You so-called white people facing a very, very hurtful thing. Okay? Well, you're facing a hurtful thing. That what you're going through there. And this is what you have to face, you know. This is not it. So I'll play it. I'll play the video.
Well, this is a really interesting study, and it follows on some work done about a year and a half ago by the same two economists at Princeton, which found that mortality was rising among middle-aged Americans. So then they set out to figure out a couple of things. One, how widespread was that problem? And secondly, what might be driving it? So what they found in their new paper is that mortality is rising not just for middle-aged Americans, but for Americans between 25 and years of age. And what's driving that really is our rises in mortality in people who have a high school education or less, so working class Americans. For people with a college degree, mortality is still declining. So to have mortality rise in a developed nation is very, very unusual, and we've our mortality rates have been declining for decades.
Right.
They posit.
Esau, you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball. You're dead. Your kingdom over Solia. It's up. Time up. You're done. The Lord. Hey, the Lord on your case right now. The Lord on your case right now. You so-called white people. The Lord is on your case. The Lord wants you. Your time's up. All the bullshit you was doing on the earth, it come to an end now. Now your time up. Now you can't do what you've been doing. You can't function how you was functioning. Game over. Alright? And I'll get a precept here in my Bible home. Get a precept here in my Bible home. Scripture say, the Lord say, you will give unto every man according as his work shall be. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, it says, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Alright? I'm going to jump to, what is that? Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 35. Ezekiel 35. I read from 3. It says, and say unto, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir represents America, where Esau is. I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and a perpetual hatred, the ones who hated us, right? That's so. Lord will bring them curses on them, on them, and what is the curses? Read Deuteronomy 28th chapter. Alright? Every fucking bad thing is going to come on all your way, and it's coming. It's coming. You hear the Edomite lady say the death, this mortality. When you see mortality, you might think it's talking about life, bro. It's death they're talking about. They don't want to say deaths, just using mortality. No, say deaths. Because if it was Negroes or Latinos, or they would have said death, the death rate among the Negro or the Latino, they would have pointed out big and bold in we face. But when all you're talking about mortality, all you're saying it like, you know, it's life. No, it's death. This is what you're talking about. Alright? No mortality rate, the death rate. Or you're sick on drugs, or you're sick on homosexuality, or you're sick on lesbianism. What you feel? Them things that's bring out life? Them things is death by? And he is as death, the scripture say. So, what the scripture now say? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Hatred, them that hated thee, and have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. Persecuted us. All the curses that we went under will come on the ones who persecuted us. Okay? In the time that their iniquity had an end. And this is part of your curse. The loss of children. Because we had to lose the children. I read it. I read some of the curses. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse I read yeah, I'll start from verse 16. Deuteronomy 28 and 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Now, this applying to the Edomites, because it's common earlier now. This is the curses. In the city and in the field, you so-called white people, we coming out of this curse. Or you're going right into it. Curse you're going to be in the city and in the field. Alright? And outside in the life, you will be cursed. You will be down, the lowest set of people in the world. See? Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, your children. See, mortality rate for white adults, age 25 plus. Your children, them is children, my father still alive, my mother still alive. These is children. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, verse 18, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest into the world, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. This dealing with you so-called white people. We come out of them curses, the Israelites. We out of that. We coming out of that. Although they still apply to us, these things going to come upon you all by. Okay? Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Right. Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eye shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. Well, let's deal with Jake in slavery time. Just now, I'm gonna jump down. Yeah, I'll read verse 41. It says, Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, the dying out. What's that? For they shall go into captivity. Well, that dealing with Jake in captivity. But these curses coming back on all year. On all year coming back. Alright? All you will make children, and all you go and enjoy them, because why? You're going and going into captivity, and all you're dying out also. As of right now, all you're dying out. Okay? All you're feeling the brunt of all your own wickedness. So that is some of the curses the Lord going and bring upon all you. Because all you had a hatred for the Israelites.
A hypothesis which is really interesting. They examined a ton of data, economic data, health data, from national sources, and what they believe is going on is that the types of jobs available to working class Americans have changed since the 70s. They're less stable, more minimum wage jobs, less opportunity for advancement, and at the same time there are a lot of social trends: decline in marriage, more cohabitation, more children born out of wedlock, more social isolation. Families aren't stable.
Right, and so you touched on education and also the workforce. These deaths of despair, especially with the opioid crisis we've seen in America, they believe are leading more white adults to die younger. Is that correct?
That's correct, and they do point out that these trends were underway before the opioid epidemic took off. I mean, opioids were really introduced in the 90s, and the epidemic has kind of taken off in the 2000s, whereas changes were starting to occur, before the mid-90s. But the opioid epidemic has definitely accelerated it. And then on top of that, you have alcohol-related liver diseases, and you have suicide. Suicide and opioids are often tied. It's hard to tell sometimes whether a drug overdose was intentional or accidental.
Right. Well, it's also interesting because these studies always look at race, and here the researchers found that blacks and Hispanics face many of the same income struggles as the white working class, yet they've experienced a decline in mortality rates. So how do you make sense of that?
Yeah, well, so that's the puzzle for everyone. What they say is that for whites, for working class whites, times were better earlier. So in other words, there was an expectation, more of an expectation of life improving. Whereas for blacks and Hispanics, they've been moving up, certainly, some parts of those populations, and there wasn't the they believe there just wasn't the expectation that with every generation you're going to live better than your parents. They also